Hello again, friends. Welcome back. My name is Oscar Montesiga, certified wine and spirits instructor for the International Wine and Spirits Guild, and I'm at the Booster Library here at Uncork Vintage Academia. Thank you for joining me again. Please subscribe to the channel so you get a notification for your next video, and like and share. That helps a lot, and I do appreciate your help in support of this channel, which my goal is to share education about wine and spirits, or really anything that tickles your fancy in the beverage world. Today we have a second installment for brandy, and this is brandy outside of the box. In the last episode we tasted the Crimson Estate from Palestine. They're out of Bethlehem. And today I bring you a brandy from Armenia. This is a fairly common brand that you're going to find across shelves in the United States and probably elsewhere in the world. But Armenia has a long history of making world-class brandy. But this particular brand called Ararat is one of the most famous, if not recognized, brandy labels from Armenia. And it is produced by the Yerevan Brandy Company. And I believe the Yerevan Company also makes wine, like still wine, table wine. But we're tasting the brandy, and this is their 10-year-old bottling. 10-year-old meaning the brandy itself is aged for a minimum of 10 years. It could be longer, and they could be blending older brandies into that 10-year-old bottling, but the minimum aging statement is 10 years. So the youngest eau de vie or brandy of the bottle or the barrel is 10 years. The Yerevan Company, they started making or producing in 1887. This is during the period of the Russian Empire. And after the Sovietization of Armenia, the factory, what they call the factory, became state-owned. And of course, that's no longer the case. But that also happens to be true that the major market for Armenian brandy tends to be Russia. And that's still true today, just like actually most of the wine produced in Georgia and Armenia go to the Russian market. This brandy sits at 40% ABV. And again, it's their 10-year. I believe they have something young, like a 3-star or like a three-year-old brandy. They may have, I think, a 5-year-old. Of course, they have the 10, and I think goes up to like 15 and 20, and they have older expressions of their brandy as well. So we're tasting this neat, and the color is a medium amber. It has a canary transition and a thin clear edge. My nasal impact starts with a little bit of drying, mostly drying, a little bit of prickling, slightly warming, but mostly drying. And there's a lot of honey, vanilla, almonds, raisins, blonde raisins, apricots, dates, chamomile. Then there's lemon oil. And very not subtle necessarily, but on the lighter profile for things like toffee and caramel or butterscotch. They're not like these overly sweet, cloying things. It's a little more toned down. It's a little lighter, not so burnt in a way. Nothing outside of that, like it's not really changing necessarily. So the production intensity is adequate and simple. The intensity for aging or élevage is adequate and simple towards complex, if not complex. Its length is average and ordinary towards fine. I actually enjoy smelling this a lot. I know it's not changing and it's nothing extraordinary either, but it's a little beyond ordinary. On the palate, the mouthfeel effect is coating, and alcohol glycerol is smooth. It is a medium body brandy with sufficient alcohol. Primary taste is definitely sweet, but there are a few highlights of playing between both sourness and bitterness, and a buttery texture, buttery mouthfeel, buttery smoothness. There's always a few ways we can word the same thing. It's just a matter of getting that message across with both our audience, our guests, or colleagues, whoever we're talking to. We always want to put in as much effort so that they understand what we're talking about when we're evaluating a spirit. Um, the palate resembles a lot of the nose, including the apricot, the golden raisins, the vanilla, the chamomile, the honey, the almonds. But I think the caramel toffee butterscotch becomes a little bit more like burnt sugar, like an actual creme brulee with the vanilla hiding underneath. It's a lot of burnt sugar. Not in a bad way, because again, the primary taste is still sweet, but there's quite a bit of burnt sugar on the profile here. Its intensity is medium, slightly complex. I wouldn't put this on the simple category, but I wouldn't put this on a fully complex category. It is slightly complex. I get enough to be engaging. The aftertaste or finish is straightforward. It is very long. I can still taste the sugar and also the honey and the fruit, some of the apricot, the golden raisin. And overall impression is excellent. I think it is very well crafted. It is balanced. There is definitely nothing underwhelming or overwhelming. And I think I missed actually part of that balance, that it is harmonious. It is a little beyond ordinary as far as the balance of the structure is, because everything's working actually very harmoniously. So it has great typicity for brandy. It is not ultra complex, but it is engaging and of great quality. So it is an excellent overall impression, even though the brandy itself is not extraordinary. It is excellent, and I would pair this with cheese and meat, but also you can lean on the sweeter style of category with something like a flan Napolitano or a Napolitan flan. I could also go with something like a tartare, a tartare of, if beef, horse, or something else, maybe venison. I think it would go well with a tartare, something simple but also flavorful. Or a terrine, something in that savory scale. It smells very nice. I think with a little bit more air and less liquid, it smells less sweet and a little bit more savory, almost like a savory wild honey. But I would definitely try them. If you haven't gotten your hands on any Armenian brandy, feel free to check out your shelves and ask your retailers to carry some brandies outside the spectrum of what most people would recognize readily, like cognac or possibly even Armagnac. I think Armagnac is still very underappreciated, but the word is getting out, especially in certain circles, which may be a bad thing for the Armagnac community. And I mean the true hardcore Armagnac community, the brandy nerds, that, there's this other group of people starting to get their hands on allocated brandy or Armagnac, specifically because they can not longer get their allocated choice of booze that they love to hunt for. There's a lot of hints I just gave you. But anyway, I'm not ranting on to any specific group for any specific reason. I'm just saying explore the world of spirits is great and wonderful. There's a spirit for you waiting to be discovered. And join me on my last episode with the Palestinian brandy. And from Armenia, we're gonna go probably to South Africa to try one of their brandies. And moving on the fourth episode of this series, we're gonna touch on Peruvian brandy. So, friends, thanks for watching. Please share the channel, share the episode. Check out our mixology videos. Check out other evaluations on both cognac or Armagnac if you wanted to get your head on a base, in case you're new to brandy. But also, thanks for subscribing so you can get updated on the next coming up episode. So, cheers to you.